What's up, guys? It's your boy Mikey Reyes. You already know. Welcome back to the channel. And for today, let's talk about the 11th place nung nasa bubble sila. Alright? Well, you know, we know na medyo wala yung franchise player nila last season sa bubble. Kaya medyo nahirapan sila. We're gonna talk about the Northport BATANG PIER.
What's up, yo? It's your boy Mike.
Those
If you
who
know,
haven't
you
subscribed,
know.
I don't know what
You
y'all
did
doing.
it,
Hit that
channel.
subscribe button. You already know. More basketball content coming your way.
Taha versus Black.
They're trying slowly building up on that lead. Lord, they flipped it up and in. As well. Pass it out to Gabo, who's been playing well.
Looks it to almost nobody. Pido rattles home the three. Ferrer attacking the baseline.
Si Coach, pareho kaming headcoach.
Nagka-quarantine ka ba? Hindi ka ba? Wala ka naman ibang pwede puntahan. Dito ka lang sa...
Talagang excruciating at times.
Jonathan Gray, after 3 tries.
Okay, guys. So, during the bubble, they had a 1-10 record. And again, sasabihin ko ulit, wala yung franchise player nila. Alam naman natin yun, medyo butas sila. And we know the usage rate of a certain Robert Bolick medyo mataas talaga when you consider, you know, the other franchise players sa league. And, you know, Robert Bolick was a big cog in that team. And he was just unavailable during the bubble. Of course, he suffered an ACL tear a couple of years back. Alam naman natin that he's returning. Sabi nga natin, nung nakausap nga natin siya, which, by the way, one of the most viewed interviews in this whole channel was that Robert Bolick. Hopefully magawa tayong part 2, pero busy na ngayon si Robert Bolick. But sabi nga niya, medyo may lamat na sa sobrang tagal na nung recovery niya. But it's very exciting to see him back in action coming itong Saturday. I don't know the schedule yet, but we'll see what happens. You know, yun nga, 1-10 sila, so they were struggling during the bubble. They only had one win, I think, against Terra Firma. And yeah, Coach Pido and the rest of the Batang PIER will be very, very excited and raring to go this coming conference kasi they have a lot of new faces. They have a lot of new faces. Yes, they lost Christian Stan Hardinger to the Ginebra trade, but still, we have a lot of new faces and a lot of players with chips on their shoulders, especially coming into this conference na medyo nag-struggle nga sila during the bubble. Alright, so let's check first their lineup. Check it right now. Paulo Taha, Sean Manganti, Renzo Subido, Robert Bolick, again coming back from an ACL tear, Nico Elorde, Sean Anthony, their captain ball, it says here, C. So I'm thinking naman talaga siya yung team captain nila. But, you know, Sean Anthony is one of the most reliable guys or vets in the league. Again, parang hindi 30s to parang 25 to maglaro eh. Alright, Garbo Lanete, Jonathan Gray also is returning. May injury yan a couple of years back. Jervy Cruz, Eli Revilla, Kevin Ferrer. Jeric Balance is here coming from that trade for Greg Slaughter. Clint Doliges, Sidney Onwubere. Greg Slaughter is here na. GP Fajundo and rookies Jamie Malonzo, Troy Reich, and Mark Olayon. May Mark Olayon pa dito sa ano. But we'll see kung ano yung final lineup na of course hindi natin malalaman yun. But quickly, let's talk about the rookies first. Number 2 pick, Jamie Malonzo coming out of the LaSalle Green Archers. Ito, medyo high ang mga tao dito kay Jamie Malonzo. When you talk about Jamie Malonzo, the walking highlight reel, we've talked about, we know what he can do above the rim. We know that he's athletic. We know that he can really run the break. He can score. He can defend with his length, his athleticism. Pero, feeling ko, medyo makikita natin siya in a role na hindi masyadong, kumbaga, magagawa niya yung role niya a little bit more here. Kasi nung nasa Lasal siya, talagang inaasahan siya nun eh. Talagang, he needed to score 20, 25, even at least hopefully reach 30 for them to get a dub. Hindi ko naman sinasabi, I'm not negating si Justin Baltazar, I'm not negating Aljun Melesio, Andre Carakot. Pero his role with LaSalle talagang gumawa ka ng paraan. Kasi syempre, di ba, he was their superstar nung last season. Dito kasi, sa Northport, I feel like he can go get comfortable in a role na Robert Bolick, syempre, yung main yung ball dominant sa kanila when he's on the floor. And then you have a Greg Slaughter down low. And then you have a Sean Anthony at the 4. And then you have a great shooter in Garbo Lanete, Kevin Ferrer maybe at the 3. So, Jamie Malonzo can focus on both ends talaga. Na talagang dedepensa siya. He can guard the best player of the other team other than Kevin Ferrer. Kevin Ferrer, pwede din kasi alam naman natin ang aasar si Kevin Ferrer. Pero, Jamie Malonzo can fit in a role na talagang if you score, you score. If you don't, okay lang. Depensa ka. Run the break. Robert Bolic's gonna get you the basketball. Greg Slaughter is gonna get you open shots when he's double teamed down low. So, I feel like Jamie Malonzo's role is gonna be different from the one he had in LaSalle. In LaSalle kasi medyo talagang franchise player, gumawa ka ng paraan. Dito medyo mas saswak siya dun sa role na yun. Kasi magagaling na yung mga kampi niya eh. Diba? Again, I'm not taking anything away from the LaSalle Green Archers players. Pero, siyempre sa PBA, medyo magagaling na lahat ng kasama mo eh. So, medyo mas makaka-focus ka dun sa role mo. Alright? So, that's Jamie Malonzo. Troy Reich was the 10th pick. 10th pick ba? 9 or 10. I forget. 9 or 10. Somewhere there. But Troy Reich also is a great piece because he can learn from Sean Anthony. He can learn from Sean Manganti. He can learn from Greg Slaughter. So, Troy Reich also a guy like the same as James Laput as we talked about yesterday. Medyo perceived as soft when he played in the UAAP. But then again, yun nga ang hinahanap sa kanila sa UAAP. Iba sa hanapin sa kanila dito sa PBA. Sa UAAP, Troy Reich was perceived as someone coming from Wake Forest at talagang gumawa ka dyan sa NU. Eh, medyo hindi nga yun yung role nila. Pareho ni James Laput. Dito may magiging role player sila. Talagang you get set solid screens, box out, get the rebound, outlet, run the floor, get putbacks, get offensive rebounds, kick it out, di ba? So medyo mas may role nga dito eh. Hindi katulad nga sa college, medyo inaasasahan sa kanila is take us home. Yun ang inaasahan sa kanila ni James Laput eh. Nung nasa LaSalle si James and nasa NU si Troy Reich. Dito mas, he will be developed, he will get into his game, he will fit into that system, Coach Pido's system, and he will learn a lot from the veteran bigs. Jervy Cruz pa pala nandyan. Veteran bigs ng Northport Batang PIER. So I'm very, very excited for the development of these two rookies. I know that Jamie Malonzo is gonna have a lot of minutes right away because he was the number 2 pick. He is the future of that wing position para sa Northport. But he won't be the franchise player. And I think he can be a franchise player in a team, but not right now. You understand what I'm saying? So medyo madedevelop pa si Jamie Malonzo. It's gonna be Robert Bolick pa rin, obviously. We've seen a lot of clips of Robert Bolick the past few weeks at talagang he's back. Diba? Hopefully he can show us that this coming conference. I'm very excited for Jamie Malonzo because I feel like mas mamamaximize talaga siya na hindi siya pine-pressure na kailangan mong gumawa para manalo tayo. Alright? So, that's the rookies. And then, returning player, obviously, Robert Bolick. Alam naman natin, pag-uusapan natin mamaya kasi, obviously, when you talk about Northport, it's always gonna be Robert Bolick. New player also is Jerick Balanza, who was part of that Greg Slaughter for Christian Stan Hardinger trade. So, Jerick Balanza is gonna be there. We'll see kung malalabas niya yung Letran type of Jerick Balanza na talagang scorer, may kumpiyansa. Kasi, syempre, medyo nahihirapan siya kumuha ng minuto sa Ginebra. But here in Northport, even though they have a lot of wing guys in Gabo Lanete, Kevin Ferrero, Paulo Taha, medyo madami din talaga silang wingman dito. But Jerick Balanza will fit right in because Jeff Napa is there. Coach Jeff Napa, yung coach niya back when he was with Letran dati of course, maasahan natin na talagang mabibigyan nila ng kumpiyansa si Jerick Balanza and finally maybe malalabas ni Jerick Balanza yung game niya sa PBA. Although maybe the minutes will be spot minutes pa din kasi may mga veteran wings pa sila. But we all know Jerick Balanza can hoop and we all know Jerick Balanza is in the PBA for a reason. So makikita natin hopefully si Jerick Balanza sa Northport Batang PIER. And of course, the big man down low, we all know that Greg Slaughter is out to prove to everyone, all his naysayers, all his haters, that he is still one of the best big men in the league. Alright? And he can really dominate the game down low kasi alam natin madaming comparisons yan with Junmar Fajardo, Raymond Almazan, Ian Sanggalang. Yan yung mga talagang matitibay na sentro sa liga natin, 'di ba? Justin Chua, 'di ba? But Mo Tautua, but Greg Slaughter is back in a different uniform. It's a fresh start for him and I'm very, very excited for him kasi yung pressure ng Ginebra maybe got into him a little bit kasi alam naman natin what it's like to be in a Ginebra uniform. Well, hindi natin alam kasi hindi naman tayo nanglaro doon. Pero alam naman natin from the outside kung grabe yung pressure ng Ginebra. So, maybe it got into him a little bit. Maybe this is what he needs. It's a perfect start for him. That center position is a lock for him here with Northport kasi alam naman natin Northport hasn't had a legitimate 7-footer in so long. I think the last big man they had was Totoo for a while before he was sent to San Miguel. But, very exciting because he has a Robert Bolick beside him. He has solid point guards who can feed him the basketball. Sean Anthony is a great compliment also for him. Kasi si Sean Anthony, okay, yung balita na tatamad-tamad si Greg Slaughter, well, hindi ako naniniwala dun, first and foremost. Kasi, everyone has their own routine naman eh. But, if anything, Sean Anthony's sipag and Sean Anthony's passion for the game will be very, very healthy for Greg Slaughter. So I'm very, very excited for that. And yeah, he has a lot of great point guards to feed him the basketball. Renzo Subido, Eli Revilla, Nico Elorde, Robert Bolick. Diba? So this team is pretty good. I'm telling you, man, with the return of Robert Bolick and the entry of Greg Slaughter, even though they lost to Christian Stan Hardinger, may bubuga to with Jamie Malonzo, Sean Anthony, diba? Troy Reck, Kevin Ferrer is still there. Gabo Lanete is still one of the more reliable shooters in the league. So it'll be very exciting to see kung ano ang kayang gawin ng Northport this coming conference. Players to look out for, players to watch. I got 3 for Northport. I'm not saying na sila lang ang gagawa, but I'm really excited to see Robert Bolick because we know what he can do. I've seen him play. I went up against him when he was with LaSalle. Nandun na yung potential. I covered his whole San Beda career. Yung 3 championships niya doon, nakita ko yun. And iba yung ni Robert Bolick, iba yung effect ni Robert Bolick sa isang team. Kita nyo naman, they went from quarterfinals to 1-10. Honestly, quarterfinals sila nung nandun si Robert Bolick. They went up against obviously a great San Miguel team, a better San Miguel team at the time. And then nung nawala si Robert Bolick, naging 1-10 sila sa bubble. It just goes to show kung anong kayang dalhin ni Robert Bolick sa isang team. It's not just his skills, but his leadership. He knows his winning attitude, his winning mentality. Again, sobrang iba ang respeto ko kay Robert Bolick, especially after the interview that we had. Wait lang, kasi may bell, kasi kumuha ng basura dito. Okay. That interview I had with him, kasi dun ko nakita talaga. Well, napapansin ko na, if you watch that interview, napapansin ko na talaga that he was never really focused on his stats. He was never really focused on his individual accolades when he was with San Beda. At na-prove ko yun nung nakausap ko talaga siya. And he told us na talagang, he just wants to win. He doesn't care kung mythical siya, MVP siya. He doesn't care if he scores 50 points one game and then he scored 2 points the next. Wala siyang pakialam. He just really wants to win. And that's the kind of mentality Northport needs back with the return of Robert Bolick. And we all know kung ano rin ang gusto ni Coach Pido. At alam natin may mga warriors sila sa Northport, Sean Anthony, Kevin Ferrer. Uulitin ko pa silang lahat. But, the presence and the leadership of Robert Bolick, one of the best young leaders of the league, talagang it'll give Northport the energy and also the motivation to get back on its feet at talagang mag-compete ulit for a spot at the playoffs. Alright? So I'm very, very excited. Obviously, Robert Bolick is a player to look out for this season. Not just for Northport, but for the PBA as a whole. It's great to have Robert Bolick back, man. And then Greg Slaughter, alam naman natin, like I always say, chip on his shoulder. He's trying to get back on his feet. He's trying to show everyone na he's still one of the best big men in the league. So Greg Slaughter is obviously a player to look out for. Again, not just with Northport, but with the whole PBA. Alam naman natin, the talks surrounding Greg Slaughter ever since he went on that leave of absence or that hiatus na talagang nagpahinga muna siya. He got his mind right, and this is just the perfect return and the perfect fresh start for Greg Slaughter to really, maayos muna yung utak niya, naayos niya yung utak niya, and now I'm sure he's very, very excited to get back on the floor now with a uniform and a new set of teammates. All right, and lastly, a player to look out for is Jamie Malonzo, again second pick for the during the last PBA draft, and he's one of the guys na he's gonna run for Rookie of the Year kasi alam naman natin that what he can do on both ends, and alam naman din natin na bibigyan din siya ng minuto, and he's gonna be able to play through mistakes kasi Coach Pido Horencio is, to me, again, one of my favorite coaches, not just in the PBA but in the Philippines as a whole, kasi alam naman natin pag nagbigay ng kumpiyansa si Coach Pido. And also nung na-interview natin si Jamie Malonzo, sinabi din niya yun na talagang Coach Pido gets on him, but at the same time gives him the right confidence to really just hoop. And we asked him also kung nagagawa ba niya yung ginagawa niya nung college sa practices so far, and he said yes, because his athleticism was really off the charts when he was in college. So it's no surprise to us kung kaya niyang dalhin yun into the pros. So those three guys, along with of course Sean Anthony, na like I said, one of the more reliable vets. And man, what is there to say about Sean Anthony, man? The most, if not the most, one of the most underrated players in the whole league. Diba? When we talk about when you talk about veterans in the league, you always talk about the Gilas boys, the Gilas legends. You talk about other than the Gilas legends, Chris Ross is there, Alex Cabagnot, Arwin Santos, Mark Pingris who just retired, Mark Baroka, basta yung mga veterano, lahat puro Gilas. Sean Anthony was never really known. I think he was part of the Gilas program for a while, pero dahil hindi siguro siya nag-Gilas, he never got that same attention. But Sean Anthony puts up numbers, guys. Like triple-double threat sa liga si Sean Anthony. And I'm not kidding, man. Sean Anthony is, I forget an exactly age niya, but he's more on the senior side of the spectrum of the PBA family right now. But man, he plays like he's 27. He acts like he's 27, but his mind and his IQ is up there. All right. So Sean Anthony, Bolick may be the driver of the bus, of the NORTHPORT bus, but Sean Anthony's the engine, man. Sean Anthony's the heart of this team. And if Sean Anthony's energy and youth, hindi ko saan ginawa yung youth na yun, is contagious at mahawa lahat ng teammates, especially Greg Slaughter, man, malayo mararating nitong NORTHPORT Batang PIER. Alright? Coach Pido Horencio, alam natin kung anong magagawa ni Coach Pido for a team like this, for a team this young. The confidence, the guidance, the father figure, and also Coach Pido is known to be really close to his players, na talagang comfortable yung mga yan to play for Coach Pido, and they love playing for Coach Pido. Alam naman natin, they love playing for Coach Pido. Coach Pido is one of those coaches na talagang bibigyan ka ng kumpiyansa. Coach Pido is one of those coaches na low-key din can compete with the best of them dito sa liga natin. And, you know, it's just perfect. A young team with a coach as fiery and as passionate as Coach Pido. And again, hindi ako magugulat kung talagang NORTHPORT is gonna turn some heads. I know they finished 110 last season in the bubble, but with this team right here, hindi tayo magugulat kung talagang they're gonna make waves here in this coming conference. Alright, storylines to watch out for the NORTHPORT Batang PIER. Number 1, can they pick up where they left off? I know that medyo nag-struggle sila the past few conferences kasi nga na ACL tear or nawala si Robert Bolick, but can they pick up where they left off? The last time na talagang full season or full conference si Robert Bolick, they were in the quarterfinals against a mighty San Miguel team, and they lost by 1 possession. I just watched the clip na ano lang sila doon, nagmintis si CJ McCollum ng free throw, pagbaba nila hindi na nakatira si Robert Bolick kasi medyo na pressure na. But we know kung gaano nakalakas yung team ng NORTHPORT nung time na yan because of, again, the leadership of Robert Bolick, and everything was just working in tune dun sa pinapagawa ni Coach Pido. So, can they pick up where they left off? Now na bumalik si Robert Bolick, they have reinforcements. I know they lost to Christian Sanhardinger, but Sean Anthony still there. Greg Slaughter, new rookies, new faces, and a lot of reliable vets. Kevin Ferrer, Paul Taha, Garbo Lanete, diba? Madami silang aasahan, LA Revilla. So, can they pick up where they left off? And number 2 storyline for the NORTHPORT Batang PIER is Greg Slaughter. Or which version of Greg Slaughter are we gonna see? Because if we see one of the best, or maybe the best version of Greg Slaughter since he's come into the PBA, if we see that, then no doubt lalaban nga ng playoff spot itong NORTHPORT Batang PIER. So those 2 storylines are what are the things that we're gonna look out for dito sa NORTHPORT Batang PIER, and it's gonna be very exciting to see kung kakayanin nila na bumalik dun sa dati nilang form. No person in their right mind is ever gonna think na a Robert Bolick led team with a Greg Slaughter, Sean Anthony, and all those guys are gonna finish 1-10. And Coach Pido, no way, no one in their right mind is gonna say that they're gonna finish 1-10. Nope. Diba? If anything, they're gonna be in the middle of the pack and they're gonna compete. Okay? We're gonna see in the first few games kung ano yung syempre, diba, kukuha pa sila ng momentum. And also, kung nakikita naman natin, and we also have a lot of faith in the return of Robert Bolick. But we're still gonna see kung paano nila mapapagana yun in the first few games. But if everything goes according to plan, and of course, ma-maximize yung lineup na yun ni Coach Pido, bro, hindi tayo magugulat. Middle of the pack to. Middle of the pack at least itong Northport Batang pair. Alright, there you have it. Those are, that was your Northport Batang pair. I'm very, very excited to see this team again kasi maraming players dito ang excited tayong panuorin. Maraming players dito tayo ang hinahangaan natin. And yeah, man, the Robert Bolick return is gonna happen. I don't know if they're gonna play on Saturday or next week, but I'm very, very excited for this conference because we're gonna see another, kumbaga, yung full force ng Northport Batang pair. Alright, so very, very exciting times ahead for ano bang ano nila? We the North, for the We the North team. Alright, so it's been Mikee. Alright, so this has been Mikee Reyes. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Peace and love, and I'll see you all very, very soon.